Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Great War mod. We're playing as the Soviets, the Soviet revolutionaries in World War One. So the year is, currently it's late April 1918. We have started our reconquest of all the Russian territories and it's been going pretty well. Last time around we secured Vilnius in Lithuania, but we also took back Smolensk and we're in control of that. Now we're poised to continue on. We are looking at Belgrade against the White Forces, we're looking at Kiev against the Ukrainians, we're looking at Minsk against the Belarusians, and we're also looking at further territories against the Ukrainians. Now, as this is built on me playing as Imperial Russia and not really engaging against either Austria or the Germans, more so than the only incursion I made against them was to take Lemberg and Warsaw, and I did that only to create the Polish state. So at current they are actually our vassal, so they're vassal of the Soviets. However, that is going to change. We are most likely, if we go ahead and continue on beyond the borders of Russia, we are going to backstab the Polish. The Empire might have created them, but the workers' revolution don't give a toss about imperial decrees. With that said, what we're going to do today is what we outlined last time around. We're going to attack. We're going to continue on from Vilnius. So we're going to bring this army, and they're going to bring that army over to Minsk and lay siege to that. We're going to see if they intercept and want to draw into battle directly. No, they don't. It's quite even. The enemy outnumbers us by 1,000 men. They have 2 artillery pieces against our 1. What I could do is I could send one of the artillery pieces to join the siege over there. However, I also want to continue down here, and the Ukrainians have a lot more troops. I want to keep the pressure up, so what we're going to do is we're not going to send an extra cannon down there. They're going to have to do with just 1 artillery piece. We're gonna continue marching with this army down towards this region. So we're gonna hopefully take this out. With that, that's gonna dissolve these 2 armies, which should open up for this army to continue through here and then into the Smolensk region, down through here and then towards Kiev. While this force should now set off to march to strike down the white movement. It's going to march there. They have a support force here of cavalry. What we might do with this one is we might... Let's see, where can we cross? Okay, so there's only really 2 places we can cross. I was hoping maybe I could cross there and cross in between here and, like, run amok through the sort of the back side of it. But it looks like we either have to cross here or we have to cross over here. And I think we're going to cross over here. Just because I think, since this is a capital, we might have to hold this a little bit longer. I'm not entirely sure. But what we might do is leave this one here while this one continues forward and might actually go round, try to go directly for Odessa, which is very lightly guarded, as we can see. So once this army obviously have to pause as they attack this, attack Belgrade. While they do that, the cavalry army is free to move, and they could quickly move down, seize this territory, and then maybe even go on to seize this territory. It's very neglected territory, commanded by the Romanians first, and then Romanian rebels, and now the Ukrainians. I just noticed how little wealth this region actually has. It just has 610 wealth. That's suspiciously low. If we compare just a little bit against my regions that I currently control, is this wealth though? It doesn't really say. This is the least taxed region. Well, that still has a wealth of 4,000. And this little one had just 600. So I don't know what they've been doing here. Clearly they haven't been doing anything. I answered my own question. And they're actually losing 5 points each turn. There's no wealth generation whatsoever. No surprise then that people are moving out of the region. It currently holds about 600,000 people. And it's losing them at a rate of almost 1% per turn. Not very good for them. With all of that said, we've got a good grasp of what's going on. So, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and attack Minsk and take this over. So we have Pyotr Asimov in command of the enemy force, not a proper general, against... We can't call him the Grand Duke. We have to call him something else. Maybe I can rename them. Can I rename? Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. I can rename this unit, possibly. I can put something here. If anyone has any ideas for... Yes, that's a great idea, actually. I wonder if it works, though. Let's call him Bob 1 to start with. Bob 1, but yeah, look at that. So it says Grand Duke Nicholas Nikhailovich General, and then it says Bob 1. But I could definitely rename all the generals as per suggestions of the of subscribers. Certain ones might not need, like this guy, because he just has a sort of nondescript. It doesn't really look like he's specifically. He actually, I thought he kind of looked like a neo-Nazi with that kind of haircut. But yeah, you know, this one as well. If you want to rename them to something, either if we want to go down a route of doing appropriate Soviet or Russian names, or Russian Soviet generals or whatever, or if we want to go for a route where, you know, I rename them after, you know, subscribers, paid members, whatever, something like that. Could be an interesting thing. With that said, anyways, let's... And then I should say, it's going to be the first one to comment about the names. So the first one to comment is the first one who gets it. So, yes. With that said, let's go ahead and start the Battle of Minsk. As per usual, I forgot to turn the banners on in time, so we're not going to see them right at the start of the battle. However, they are going to pop in at a certain time during the battle. It seems to be going quicker now than it did in the beginning, so it's going to pop in, hopefully, pretty rapidly. With me saying that, then obviously it's not going to happen. Anyways, we've divided the army into groups. We've got 3 groups. So we've got the Order of the Red Banner in the center. We've got the Sailors on the left flank, and we've got the normal army rifles on the right. The plan is to... What I'm doing is... oh yeah, the artillery is placed over here, kind of in the back a little bit. It's going to target enemy artillery as soon as we start. I also have the machine gun covering this side of the field, because this was kind of nice and open area, which we can cover with the machine guns. That'd be nice. So I'm not going to start making too many moves on this side. Maybe move the sailors to kind of make a flank. And then I think we'll start by moving the army rifles up to a certain point. And then we kind of see how it goes. And from there we continue kind of figure out where we're going. With that said, we're going to go ahead and start. And I'm going to start by bombarding the enemy artillery as soon as we start here. Hopefully blow them to pieces. The sailors actually stay hidden, which is pretty good. I'm going to move these guys up. I'm also going to move up the machine guns slightly to a better position. The fact that they're hidden is really good. That means that I can kinda sneak up on the enemy. Let's see, we are starting to blast the enemy artillery. The enemy is very unusually... that is very accurate artillery shots. I thought I'd place it over here and they'll kind of go in a wide circle, kind of hit both the units. I'm surprised they're not moving. Not entirely sure why that is. But the thing, well, part of it is because this is built on the same... I started this roughly at the same time as I started my Austrian campaign. And the problem that we kind of realized with the Austrian campaign is I started on a way too low difficulty. And so this one is started on the same kind of low difficulty, where I probably should have ramped it up. And that's partly why they're not moving. The thing is, they did move during my Austrian campaign, so I'm not entirely sure. It seems like this could be just a random fluke right now. There's a lot of cavalry and there's a high hill there. With the enemy artillery being taken out, though, without them doing anything, it's going pretty well. Let's see. Machine gun covers a lot of this. And the thing is, I'm not entirely sure if I want to move them any further, because if I move them further, they're just going to get closer to sort of the dead ground where they're not going to be able to hit anything. So if I would want to move them, I should have moved them towards here, towards this ridge, where I can kind of fire further over on this side. Let's see if we... Since the enemy's artillery is destroyed, that means that I don't need to hide any longer, so my troops will move out. We'll see about provoking the enemy cavalry to make a move on us. I'm gonna move the army rifles further to the right. One of them is gonna go very far to right, kind of set up here, fire onto their flank, get the horses moving, hopefully shoot them down, and at the same time we kinda get the sailors into a position to do like a last ditch charge forward, and then open fire on these guys. Interesting little pen in the middle of here. Also now with the enemy artillery gone, we can start focusing the artillery on enemy troops. I think once we actually get going here, they're so slow. I wanted that one over there, that one over there, that one over there, and that one over there. I think from there it'll be good. And now you should move to over there, while the rest slightly switches further, so they can support him. And then these will move further. Actually, what we'll do is we'll set them up like that, and we'll actually start to move the machine gun up to this ridge point. So we'll kind of get 2 machine guns on either side, so we can cover it pretty good. Artillery doing good, weakening the enemy's center. Oh, they are... the enemy cavalry is woken up now. Has opened fire and shot 5 sailors. Sailors are moving into position. Not the greatest position to fire, but there's so many more of us that in the long run we're definitely going to shoot down these Dragoons. And we're gonna start... Oh! Ooh, this is bad. That Hussar unit, if they had charged, they could have probably have taken out this unit. But instead, they did not. So their kind of counterattack there failed. Dragoons over here did a lot better. They were actually able to take out quite a few men on these units. However, ultimately they failed. And our troops are now able to advance on their flank. We're gonna be able to take them out. At the same time, I think we'll actually advance down into this kind of valley that is in here, in between the high ground over here and the kind of high ground that is over here. Let's see if we can continue to advance and maybe fire on the enemy general. And now we're opening up on these guys, which barely even register that we're firing at them, with a very poor counter fire. We're gonna have these 3 move up, and then once they're in position, this one will move up. We've got some of the home guard now mobilizing. Let's see, my artillery is not within range. I weaken the center a lot. Let's see. We'll continue forward. And now we'll move up so that we can provoke the enemy general, shoot him down, and then the Order of the Red Banner... Order of the Red Baron. Keep saying that wrong. Right, the cavalry's gone. Let's see about getting at that home guard. We'll leave 1 unit over there and 1 moving further into the flank, and then I want to angle this guy a little bit. Enemy general was shot down, went rather quickly, and that's gonna have quite the devastating effect throughout the army. Not as devastating effect as I thought though, and they're still not moving. Which seems rather odd. Normally, they would kinda react, wouldn't they? And start to move. Let's see, we got these Dragoons now reacting. Moving against us. Gotta stay in this area, kinda keep an eye on this. Currently, I mean, they're not really doing anything, are they, the enemy? But they're very slow, or I mean, it has taken a lot to actually kill the few men that we have. could probably use with some artillery support here. Let's see if we can't get you all the way up on the flank. That high hill is working pretty well for him. Let's try not to be in the way of the machine gun in case he wanna start to fire, which he is actually. Who is he firing on now? Okay, he's firing this way. Going up through the home guard where the sailors... Oh, now they're starting to move. Now you can start to see the main line is advancing. It's way too late though. And now these guys, which have suffered heavily from the artillery barrage, is now going to move into the fire of the Order of the Red Banner. Most of these shots are actually going into the ground. The enemy is going to have to come up to this point to actually be able to fire back and also receive fire from us. I thought there were going to be more home guard. Where are all the home guard units? Seems like very ineffective fire right now from the machine guns, not really being able to shoot down these guys. We're gonna turn them slightly to kind of face these guys, but they're yet to even be able to cross up over the ridge there. I'm gonna actually push you all the way up there. And then we kind of need to start tilting these guys. And then if the artillery could fire at the last kind of unit that still has a lot of soldiers. They're kind of barely visible from this position. Turn to fire against these. I think we can actually break them pretty quickly, as you're not really able to hit these guys over here. And the machine gun fire is just gonna hit the ridge. So might as well tell them to hold fire, as we might just end up shooting our own men. Okay, now this is secure. I need these guys up here. And I need you all the way up there. One of the few strong points the enemies have is over there. This unit of the Order of the Red Banner is actually taking quite the hit. Not really able to return fire on these guys, or they haven't, and they lost a lot of manpower over there. Gonna kind of risk it by moving the troops forward. Moving a little bit back over here. I think they might have moved up into the range of the machine guns now. Yes, the home guard moved into the range of the machine gun, and it's almost like someone hit the delete button because everyone fell within seconds. And if they didn't fall by the machine gun, they fell by artillery. And with that we can push up all the way up the ridge. We'll tell the machine gun to hold fire, to not shoot our own. The sailors will run through and will complete the encirclement. You know what, let's see if we can't end this now. Hold fire. And bayonet charge. Oh, home guard unit has been spotted. Shoot it down. Order machine guns to open fire. We're charging this unit down. And this one is routing ahead of our charge. The home guard got destroyed, leaving only one unit left. which run before the mass charge, which I did not tell the artillery to hold fire early enough, so we shot our own men. Oh, hold fire everyone, do not fire, there's a lot of team killing here. And there we go. We are victorious. Very good. Here's the result of the battle. We deployed 2,600. The enemy deployed 1,000 more, 3,600. They lost everything. We lost 620. However, if we compare what they killed to what we lost, we can see that we killed about 200, at least 240 of our own. Highest kills goes to field gun, 800. Red Army rifles next up, and then machine guns. Machine guns normally do a lot, but with the positioning there, with a lot of ground, they couldn't actually get to the enemy. So they weren't able to score that many kills. But now Minsk has fallen to our control. And that opens up the road for these guys. So you could see how before they can only march about here. Now they can almost get more than halfway to Kiev. So it's a major improvement. We also need to move up the spy planes to get a better view at what the enemy's doing. Why is he going that way when he's... See, and we've got another one over there. Question is also... Now, right now, what I can see is the Ukrainians are seemingly very aggressive. So that's why I'm going for them. We would also kind of look towards what the Germans are doing. But it might be unnecessary to kind of wake up the Germans and them marching in and trying to destroy us. Let's go ahead and end turn and see what the enemy has in store for us. Technological advance, aerial combat. Paris has fallen. Who has taken Paris? The Italians have. The Italians have taken Paris. Most of France has actually been conquered by the Italians. The Italians have taken the territories in south, and now they've taken the main part of France by taking the Paris-France region. Probably, since we can't kind of guess that the Germans are moving through here, we can assume that they're going to take the rest of it. Also, I have note here that there's a bit of a civil war going on in Spain. So we got the Republican Spain versus even, I guess, communists. Not entirely sure what's going on here, but I can imagine they're affluent though. Why is it going so bad for you, Spain, then? If you're affluent, why are there revolutions? If you have the money. So it's not bankruptcy, then what is? What is so bad going on in Spain? Doesn't look too good for Poland, possibly. The Austrians might be attacking over there. The Austrians did lay siege here, but I don't know where they went. Obviously they died, but you never know. Maybe they flew into space. We'll continue our advance down this road. And soon we'll be attacking over here. Actually quite heavily defended area. It's gonna have to stay here for a while. Probably need to... What we can do while we're here holding this place is we could definitely recruit some extra artillery. Would I hold for 4 turns? Or 3? Let's go for 2 of these heavy howitzers. Then we can replace this one. Home Guard is to be recruited. They would need some more infantry in this army. So with 2 artillery, that still leaves 4 slots open for infantry. How about... we need some forward troops in this one. So how about 2 SMG infantry? And do love myself some combat engineers. Even though I blew them up on purpose in one battle, but... let's forget about that. Okay, so they pulled back over here to the point where they pulled back into the town. Before I go ahead and attack, I want to see what they do have. So we're going to have our reconnaissance plane try to infiltrate the airspace. They succeeded. And they're going to actually move out, so they don't die when we lay siege. So they do have an artillery piece. Light infantry, but it should be a pretty done deal. Ah, look at that, an ambush. The enemy ambush us. I thought, the thing is, because you didn't see it, but during the end turn over by the White Russian movement, they actually pulled back their troops from the bridge to the town, and I imagine the same was happening over here, but we're actually being ambushed by 3 mortar units. Very bad. Right, there's nothing for it. Let's see if we can avert disaster. I do think we can though, since it's just 3 mortars, and then the rest of it's going to be reinforcements. It's going to make it a lot easier though for me to take the town by breaking these down once they slowly trickle onto the field. With that said, let's go ahead and play this battle, shall we? Right, this ambush battle went pretty strangely, in which the mortars, they really screwed it up. I actually killed more of my own men than the enemy mortars did, if we look through this. So the enemy killed 24 of my men. I still managed to lose 323, and that was because they were all in column, and they spawned, they'd set up their mortars right in front of my column. Immediately everyone started firing. I was more busy in trying to make sure that my artillery stays safe, and I didn't realize that we were shooting each other as we were shooting then up through the column. So all the units were shooting through each other. So that's why I lost a lot of men. Because of that, they were shooting straight through each other. But then also, the reinforcement army retreated off the field before it even joined the field. So that was a bit strange. So that's why also I didn't show it. It lasted for 15 minutes. And most of it was me watching the enemy spawn in beyond the map and then retreating out of it. Or I think it was... yeah, it was strange. But we killed that force and were able to attack here. Hopefully these guys will be a little bit more active than the previous battle. And with that said, let's go ahead and attack. Well, there isn't much of a plan. I've drawn up the artillery in the front line with all my artillery and the machine guns. And then everyone else drawn up in a line, which will advance against the enemy. Cavalry on the right. Machine gun on the left. And that's it. So, why don't we go ahead and start? First things first, I'm gonna take all of my infantry and advance it towards the enemy line. We're gonna bring up the cavalry towards the enemy's flank. And then the machine gun over here is to cover this field out here. and to facilitate the attack for the infantry to move straight forward in the middle. And yeah, that's it, roughly. We're gonna go ahead and look closely for the micromanagement of the cavalry, as I am preparing to take out the enemy general. We're gonna have what I could do is I could once the general's dead, we could move to swing the cavalry around and see if we can find the home guard. I guess the home guard is actually on the other side. We can swing around and then attack the home guard in the back. The gas artillery is, I'm not entirely sure what they will continue to fire upon out there, but they should target everything they see within range and not just ground. We'll have the revolutionary cavalry with rifles, or not rifles, but I imagine they've got some form of carbine. Move in from the front, while the hussars, once the fight starts, the hussars will ride up. Okay, now they're moving actually to counter the revolutionary cavalry. So we'll speed the hussars into action. So the 3 hussar units will move up close while the enemy general is fighting the revolutionary cavalry. What a perfect move with very few casualties, if any, of our own. I am impressed. Okay. And so when I say that oh no, the enemy started firing back at us, that's what. Oh no, the oh, it was a light infantry. Okay, let's end them. Charge. Hold fire. Let's see the cavalry charge going through. The light Ukrainian infantry cannot stand. Artillery is coming in. The enemy units are overwhelmed. Heavy losses though, as we're charging straight through all of this. But we are breaking up the flank of the enemy. However, I can see that once we have defeated this unit, we need to pull back, because we lost so many actual cavalry troopers during this fight. Oh shit, we need to actually retreat already. Some infantry units are actually firing. I'm not entirely sure what they're firing at. Our retreating troops. Right, let's make the push with the infantry now. Looks like the revolutionary cavalry is not gonna survive, there's only 2 of them left. But the hussars made it out. Gas stops firing when its target move out of range. So a lot of home guard moving forward. They're gonna be hit by artillery, and I imagine the gas is actually gonna land over here. No? Oh, the gas lands very close to our own troops, which is bad. Are the Ukrainians charging? It's kind of sounded like they were charging. Or they're moving up quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the home guard's doing. The home guard could actually outflank us over here. Is my machine gun providing enough cover? What we need to do here is we'll pull these guys back towards the forest. And we'll drag the home guard into the machine gun fire. While where we are strong, over here on the right, we will move to flank the enemy. Of course, once this infantry unit is actually defeated. There we go. I'll keep this small partisan unit, keep firing on them, while these units will move to flank. Yeah, the machine gun fire isn't really getting there. Or at least it didn't, but now as they actually move within range, we are destroying the enemy. Surprised that they hold as long as they do, given the kind of casualties they're suffering right now. The gas artillery always quits firing. And why is there artillery shots here? That's my own units. God awful, I must say. If this is the kind of resistance they put up at their so-called capital, then I have nothing to worry about from the Ukrainians. Although this was a very weak area of the Ukrainian kind of front because, well, I don't know exactly why they didn't put a load of artillery here. Okay, the machine gun fire is the enemy is covered by the hills. I want gas on that one, artillery on that one, and artillery on that one. And start to move forward through the forest. And with the fact that I know that these guys are going to get heavy hits of artillery, I'm actually going to pull all troops forward. This one was almost annihilated in the first volley of gas. And then with the artillery coming in, I bet that's not going to improve for the second one. Second one kind of missed its mark because not that many Ukrainians actually died. Damn, the home guard really puts up a fight. They're not going to relinquish their capital, are they? They're fighting to the last man. 4 men left in that unit. Still have cavalry out here. Let's push up onto the ridge. There's 8 men still fighting. 6. Okay, now they're gone. We're able to push up on the ridge. Everyone will hold fire. Do I have any? I do have artillery reaching the Dragoons, and we'll fire gas in that direction, hopefully hit some enemies. I'll try not to shoot at our own troops. Going pretty well. We've got more home guard, kind of directly where I told the gas to fire. Sort of. Artillery not hitting the enemy cavalry unit, but they are scaring them. Comes a gas hit. I've got 2 units of light infantry. Let's see, the machine guns. The machine guns should actually be able to fire there. I kind of want to... should probably draw these guys back towards the hill and not have them that exposed. And then we'll draw these guys more like so. Now continue to hit the cavalry. And then maybe you can fire over there. And then gas will fire on the last real remaining infantry unit. That light infantry unit over there. Moving forward quickly. Boom! And so they got hit by artillery and gas. And a single soldier survived. A single enemy soldier survived from that attack. He didn't actually, he died. He got shot down in the retreat. Oh, I was gonna hold fire there, but most of those retreating troops got hit by that gas cloud. You do not need to fire on the retreating enemy. And there we have it. We've taken Kiev, a very important point in the industrial center. So that's very good. And with that said, let's go back to the campaign map. Here we've got the results of the battle. The revolutionary cavalry died, and so did 1,009 of our own soldiers, which is quite high losses. However, we completely wiped out the defenders. Highest killers goes to the gas, no surprise there. Then field guns, light howitzer, and machine gun. Then we've got the Red Hussars. 23 men remaining. Managed to take out 160. Now the cavalry charge looked glorious, but the game changer is the artillery and the machine guns. Kiev has fallen. Very nice. And also we got mentioned in dispatches and patriotic sword. Or maybe that should be a patriotic hammer and sickle. Might be more appropriate. Let's get some patriotic levy. I like the units that have banners. What we'll do is the partisans, we'll group the partisans together, slowly facing them out of this army in favor of units that carry banners. Like the patriotic levy, which we like very much. Plus, patriotic levy is a very big unit, 360. Makes for really big armies. Okay, I only have slots for 4. I recruited too many. 4, and then we've got Red Guard units recruited out of the population to make sure that we can hold control. Next video is most likely going to be the attack then on the White Russians over here. I'm going to already start moving no, I'm not going to move the cavalry, in fact, because once these guys take it, then the road becomes clear and they can move much further, and they can actually kind of charge through and take this, and then we can combine our forces quickly to wipe them all out. And with that, we would have taken back Russia, and we could see about expanding further, taking over more parts of Europe. A lot of other troops were recruited and needs to be sent to the front lines, so I'm gonna do that off camera though. Like this army needs to move up as well, with a lot better modern troops like the machine gunners and stuff like that. However, with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this one, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!